Okay, bruh fans, solid pair of episodes this week. Episode 5, Disconcerted, gets a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it is kind of discouraging that my bruh content isn't doing super well, but this is a great season so far, and something tells me the next couple of weeks we're going to continue the momentum, so let's jump in. Greg and Tom are online and they're identifying Claudia's husband, Jack, and they put two and two together that, yeah, that's the dude that was standing in the hallway and came up to me asking where the maternity ward was. So basically, Greg was like, Jack knows where his wife is, which kind of has me thinking, shouldn't they try to relocate her in the hospital somewhere else? Because he knows the exact room she's staying in. Okay. But yeah, they work to put more security on her. And we have Tom calling Bill about the news. And he steps away from Regina, who I believe overhears part of the conversation from outside of the bathroom. And Bill is just shocked. He's like, "Oh crap, he went after Claudia. Now he could be next." And from there, it's a pretty interesting episode because Bill is shaken by his decisions, and I like this. So Bill, is doing some research on Jack, and he's just like reading over how dangerous this dude is, and he's just freaking out. And I'm like, well, wasn't it John? Wasn't it John that told him about this dude last season? And Bill just didn't want to hear it. So it's like, bruh, this is what happens, man. So Regina actually comes in as he's doing research. And he's like, yeah, I'm just doing some blueprints, but I think I need to go out for a run. So he closes his computer and leaves. And I say this about all these Tyler Perry shows. Am I the only one where if my laptop is shut down, like if I close it or if it's idle for too long and it shuts down, that if somebody tries to open it up, I need to type in a password or code? I mean, that's just me. Hey. But, Claudia sees the search history and she's like, uh-oh. Like, I wonder what this is about. So from there, we have Bill talking with Tom later on the phone because he's like, Tom's like, yeah, we got to figure out a way to save Claudia. Man, forget her. I mean, like, what about me? And the thing is, he said it in a way where it's not selfish, where it's not that Bill is worried about himself. It's because he read up on Jack, and this dude kills people and their families. So he's feeling guilt and regret and shame, not just for the affair, but the fact that it's one thing if Jack wants to come for him, but he doesn't want to have anything happen to Regina and the unborn twins, which I found redeeming. He even says, like, I was thinking of like just packing up everything and me and Regina split town because I can't have her die because of me. And I thought that was really sweet. And for the first time, I'm like, yo, Bill, like, way to man up, even though this is your fault. But I like that. I can't believe he said that. I was really proud of Bill in that moment. Yeah, but things take a dark turn at the very end of the episode when Tom goes in there to check on her, and a guy just brings in a plate of food for her, a tray, and Tom is just trying to get her to remain calm, and she's like, look, you gotta get me up out of here. He's gonna try to kill me. I know it. And Tom's like, no, don't worry, we got security there. Look, your police, 24-hour surveillance isn't going to be enough. If he wants to take me out, which I know he does, he will find a way to do it. So she agrees to finally eat some food to keep her strength up. But when the tray is removed, there's a dead rat, and she tosses it on the floor. So Tom is like, what the man? But side note, the episode took a pretty different turn. When I look at Miss Alice, for example, apparently she's dating a pastor now. She's talking to John at the sandwich shop about it, and the pastor actually comes in asking her to dinner tonight. And John is like, wait, you with the pastor now? So from there, John is at the apartment trying to put together a presentation for Blessings Inc. And he's like, wait a minute, you're talking with the pastor, right? Can you see if he can give me 3 minutes to talk to his congregation about the product? And Alice says no, which I agree. Look, it depends on how you were raised. I don't know. I know for me, my church, small church, by the way, it was kind of like, you don't really go to church to promote that kind of stuff. Like even going so far as to let's say there's a little kid at the church. It's like, oh, we're having like a fundraiser at school, we're selling candy, or if we're selling like apples and oranges for the holidays, that kind of thing. You don't sell it in the sanctuary. Like if you want to sell it in the parking lot or something, or if you want a little table set up in the entrance of the church, yeah, but not in the sanctuary. You don't use that for sales. So that's how I grew up. I'm not saying that isn't done in other churches, of course, where people do get up there and do stuff like, even if it's someone running for sheriff or like political office. But again, small Baptist church, that's how I grew up. So I'm like, bro, come on, John. I appreciate the hustle though. He's trying to finally reach out to other people as opposed to simply his friends and family. But like, no, don't try to push up on other people. But in this case, he is reading the Bible, trying to figure things out. Like, Lord, if you could just please help me out here. Lo and behold, Alice and the pastor come back from their dinner. Well, we learn a little bit more about the preacher and the fact that his wife passed away about 5 years ago from cancer, and they agree to go back to her place. And Lord have mercy. So then as soon as John prays with the Bible in his hands, the preacher comes in and he wants to, push up on him in terms of, hey, can you, how about this product of mine? How about this? You want to, bless people? And he's like, no, brother, I have a blessing team of my own and at the church. And he says he'll think about the proposal to possibly let him speak at the church about the product. And that pretty much, pushes him away because Alice is pissed off because these two are probably about to have a night where they hold hands and talk about the word, if you will, or speak in tongues. But unfortunately, that isn't happening thanks to John. So from there, we go over to earlier in the episode where, Greg is the last person I need to talk about here. So Greg is at the hospital and he's about to treat a patient. It turns out it's a transgender couple. And the husband, tells Greg's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm here with her because we've gone to several, hospitals and doctors before. And due to her being transgender, she hasn't been treated fairly. So I'm just asking if you, treat her as, anybody else. And Greg is like, yeah, don't worry about it. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool. And like you said, like that's, you got a good husband right there. So pretty much it's just one of those things where, hey, just treat me like a regular patient. Enough said. And Greg does ask the question of, well, is it hard, being in this kind of relationship? And it's like, yeah, family, friends, and, people might look and stare and whatnot. But hey, it doesn't matter. We're life partners and it is what it is, which is character building, I guess, for Greg to determine what to do with Darla, which is a strange contrast to what happens later in the episode. And I'll get to that in a minute. So as I guess he's about to clock out for a shift, he approaches Darla with the information like, hey, here's a picture of the guy, the husband that you need to be on the lookout for. She's like, oh, well, actually, we already have the photos and everything. That's what we do as police officers. Like, oh, okay, well, just so you know, he was here yesterday asking questions and he was standing right over there. So he knows the room she's in. Wait, what? You didn't know about that? No, I didn't. Oh, I thought that was what you do. Touche. Yet again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. Shouldn't they try to move her to a different room? Just saying, if he knows exactly where she is. Now, from there, I do like the fact that Greg has kind of changed his tune about Tom and Claudia, because last week he was adamant about, look, man, you're doing too much. You need to stop trying to do all this stuff to protect this patient. It's not in the job description. But this week it's like, no, he's really trying to be as proactive as Tom in order to make sure she's safe. So I really did appreciate that. Now, Darla's like, oh, so how are you doing with all this? That's a lot to take in. I think I'm about to go home. I just need something to drink. Well, I can come over when my shift is over. It's like, oh, no, it's fine. I just want to be alone tonight. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. So then he goes to a bar and he meets up with a girl. Here's the thing. I rewatched the scene. First of all, I don't believe this character was ever named. Secondly, I guess Greg just went up to the bar to bartender to get a drink, and he starts interacting with this woman. Turns out that she is quote unquote celebrating her freedom because her fiance cheated on her with his ex, and they're no longer getting married. And of course, Greg can kind of relate in terms of just getting out of a marriage himself. And then they both agree to go to his place for some whiskey. And on the way there, as they're leaving the restaurant, Greg sees Pam hugged up and kissing with another dude. And I'm thinking to myself, hold up, does Mike know about this? So they end up going back to his place, and, you know, she's on top of him on the couch, and, oh, let me go to the bathroom real quick. So then Greg gets up, like, hot diggity dog. And then out of nowhere, there's a knock on the door, and I'm like, I think I know who this is. It's Darla, and, you know, she's all like, hey, how are you? No, I'm doing fine. What's up? Well, I just heard, you know, some, you know, a banging noise, and I just came over here to see if you and Tom are okay. And I'm thinking, like, no, you weren't. I feel like she heard some commotion and then figured that Greg was with another woman, because first of all, none of these two don't. I don't think. Look, the transgender thing aside, I don't think these two need to be together, because of the fact that this isn't about like Greg, you know, oh, she's transgender, so I don't really know how other people will think about me if I. No, it's not that. That's why I said, you know, put the transgender thing aside. It's the fact that Greg doesn't respect Darla's boundaries, but on the same token, Darla is like very jealous and territorial, because remember last season he was like, wait, were you waiting for me? Were you looking through the door to see when I would get home from work? Maybe. I'm like, wait, what? And I think when Greg was I can't remember. I think Greg and her actually went on to dinner or something, and then Pam just all of a sudden decided to take it upon herself to join their table, and Darla went off, and then she left, and then Pam's like, you need to be careful with that one. Nah, she ain't the one. She gets jealous too easy. And I'm thinking to myself, don't you think it's a bit coincidental she would come over dressed the way she was and was posing in like a seductive fashion, so as soon as Greg opened the door, maybe she would get let in, because like, oh no, it's nothing going on. I'm just chilling. I'm about to take a shower. Well, I can come in for a few minutes if you want. Oh no, it's okay. I'll talk to you later. And I'm thinking to myself, what happened to what you said last week about wanting to be courted and stuff like that? I mean, aren't you supposed to be just friends? Yet it seems that for the past couple episodes, you're the one who's being the initiator when it comes to one-on-one time and whatnot. So I'm very confused on what exactly the dynamic between these two is supposed to be. And then on top of that, Greg is with a woman getting very intimate. And I'll follow up on this in the next episode, but it just really threw me off because I didn't know exactly what to take from this scene. Like, why did you lie to Darla? Why did you just randomly hook up with this chick from the bar? And now it's like, huh? But again, I will cover more of this in episode 6. But hey, that's really all I had to say about this particular episode as a whole. It was pretty solid. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.